Good evening and welcome to the Back in Charge Blueprint Client Success Stories. And today we are joined by Adam Black, who has just graduated from the Back in Charge Blueprint. Now, in a minute, what we're going to be talking about is, well, why did Adam decide to reach out and ask for help? Also, we're going to be talking about what apprehensions he had around the Back in Charge Blueprint and how we overcame those for him. We're going to talk about his experience of the Back in Charge Blueprint. And then also, finally, the most important thing, what has he actually achieved from spending the time in the Back in Charge Blueprint? So as always, if you are watching, please just say hi. Just say hi in the comments below. Let us know you're there. Also, if you've got any questions that you would like to ask Adam or myself, Adam, about the Back in Charge Blueprint or anything about his experience of it, please just put it in, right? Just put it in the comments and we will answer it live here. But if you are watching on the replay, we'll catch up. We will respond to them as we come to them. Okay. But again, I see Adam just laugh there. I don't know about you, but for me, Adam, it's always weird, like speaking to another Adam. It's like, Adam. It's he always is that. It is. And also we're both bald ones. The only difference is that you've got... Yeah, that's it. The only difference is you can actually grow a beard, whereas I cannot, mate. I really cannot. Anyway, I don't think I really want a big beard over here in Cyprus. So ads, like I'm gonna hand it over to you. I'm gonna hand it over to you. Like, tell me, like, who you are, where you're from, okay, and also like, what was life like before the Back in Charge Blueprint? Like, if you can remember back, what was life like for you before the Back in Charge Blueprint?
Yep. So Adam Black, you can probably tell from my accent, Newcastle, a small town called Wallsend. I am a project manager for 8R Power in the renewable sector. And we do installs nationwide, so we cover a lot of ground. Before the Back in Charge Blueprint, so I mean, it's still the same for me now. We're still traveling around the country since sort of July time, and since I joined the program with Adam, I think I've hit just over 7 traveling. So before I was doing the Back in Charge Blueprint, it's very easy when you stop at the service stations to go to M&S, think, I'm going to get some sushi, I'm going to get a healthy snack, quickly look at the price tag on that and think, it's not much more, and I can get a full KFC box meal, which isn't the right choice. But when you're looking at the two before, you've sort of got control that the KFC is definitely the nicer option of the two, but it's not the right option for yourself. My sort of journey to get to the Back in Charge Blueprint, I suppose, with like a lot of people started at COVID time. I was in really good shape, going to the gym, diet plan on point, everything on point. COVID hit. During the first few months of COVID, I changed jobs. I went from a shop floor more to an office staff member. So a massive shift for me in terms of all the gyms shutting, all of your sort of normal life shutting down. Also then changing roles from shop floor to office. Suddenly a lot of steps gone. Suddenly a lot of active sort of work gone. A lot of the team, and it is sort of an officey sort of thing that you'd go out and you'd go for a walk and go to Tesco and get a meal deal at lunchtime. Not knocking meal deals at all, but it's very dependent what you get in that meal deal.
Of course.
Then moved into the renewable sector. And as I say, I do a lot of miles traveling in and around the country. And you've got to stop at service stations for the toilet. You'll go in, you'll get some food. It's generally not the best food for you. So then at that time, I knew something had to change. I was still active. I was still running. I was still doing the gym, but I wasn't doing all the right things to lose weight. Spoke with Adam, and I'm sure we'll get into it a bit, so I'll not get onto that on the reasons why and the apprehensions behind that and why I chose Adam and went onto that. But yeah, just before the Back in Charge Blueprint, I was sitting at about 107.3, 107.5 kg. So how coaching football, playing football.
So I just want to get into that. So like you were sitting at like 107 kilos. You was doing a hell of a lot of mileage, right? You was feeding yourself in service stations. Like, what was your general energy and motivation like at that time when you was, when that was your normal?
Yeah, not as much as it is now. Definitely not. I think the motivation to get up at 4:25 the gym in the morning. Another bad habit picked up during COVID was a few cans to chill out on a night time, which was habitual. I am a big fan of Guinness. But that Guinness consumption has reduced, and I'm in control of that. Not that I was out of control with it, but a cup, 2-3 cans on a night time, it's not ridiculously excessive, but it is excessive.
Yeah, it's a bit like when you go into the service station, and you, like you say, you got the sushi, but oh, hang on a minute, there's the KFC there. It's and also if you're getting petrol and you're going to pay, and it's like, oh, do I get the bag of crisps and the chocolate bar and the Coke at the same time? And then last minute you just do it, right? It's just a habit. So, like it's the, like the alcohol in the evening, it's like you're not addicted to it, but it's just a habit, it's just a routine.
Yeah. No, it was similar to that with Red Bull as well. So if ever I was getting a meal deal or something, you'd get the biggest Red Bull that you can with your meal deal, rather than just getting a water or similar. Silly when you look at it, want to get your maximum value for your meal deal price. So you're thinking, I can get that massive kind of Red Bull. It's not going to be good for us. I'm tired. I am winning. I've got another 300 miles to drive today or similar. So yeah, that was, I wouldn't want to go back to that.
No, you're not going back. You're not going back. So that was then, right? And then what impacts was that having on, like on you, but also the people around you? Like, was that having an impact on those around you at the time? And how present you were in that?
Probably more so on myself, to be honest, because I do a lot of stuff. So obviously, project manager, you've got to be business. You're customer facing to so many clients, contractors. As soon as you step into that sort of AR Power uniform, I need to be on top of my game. Whether that's me pulling the mask down and going after it and making sure that I'm representing the business in the right way, but also putting a front on for me. Which will be the same as when I go into the football coaching. If I'm tired or if I'm not really up for it, I can't show the kids that I'm feeling like that. I can't show my other coach that I'm feeling like that. That coach's kit on and go after it. Same with my partner. That I'm present for them, but that is quite draining when you're doing that, and it is hard work. So potentially, yes, there's a difference in there that they might see a small improvement, but internally is the biggest improvement for me that I am not having to put that mask on and pretend. Adam, how are you doing? Yep, I'm good. Fantastic. It's actually true when you're saying it.
Yeah. But you're hanging. That's it. So cool. So let's get into it. So me and you had a conversation, right? We had a conversation and we're like, yeah, you liked it. But what did you have it? Well, did you have any apprehensions when we first started?
Yeah, of course. I think it would be wrong not to. You've always sort of got to go off what people have said and previous clients of yours, but to pay a lot of money to somebody who you don't really know, who
you don't know from Adam,
ends up with, no, don't know from Adam or Adam. Everything's going to be online. You're going to go through this program. I'm not going to take you through the normal route of here's your gym routine. This is what I want you to do. This is exactly the meals that you can eat. This is what I want you to this is what I need you to do. It is, but my thought process was on that I am used to going to the gym. I'm used to lifting weights. I'm used to running. I need something different. Clearly something then, and for me it was my relationship with food, snacks, junk food, and Guinness. So I need something to change that's out of the norm, which your Back in Charge Blueprint is for me.
Nice, good. So how did you find the program? Like, how did you find it personally?
Insightful, I think, would be the best word to describe it, to be honest. Nothing that you did put me out of a comfort zone. Quite often, if you do a fitness class, you do a 6-week program, you do a 9-week, well outside your comfort zone. The strategic way in which you've gone around it in terms of creating the bits every week, you'll watch your videos every Sunday, you'll go through that, it gradually breaks you in. Being within for so many years of my life, I love a process, and I like following me a process. I will follow that process. As I think you've commented a few times, I was probably one of the in terms of, you tell me to do it, I'm going to go away and do it. So I like that, but also the fact you can go back on things was nice. But usually with the programs, as I've said before, you do go out of your comfort zone. You are eating ridiculous calories. You are eating your ridiculous meals. There wasn't any of that. So to make it that simple and easy, it changes your habits rather than a quick fix.
Of course.
So right. I was speaking to you last week, and I'm now 16 weeks, is it 15, 16 weeks since we first started. I'm still having the salt water every morning. I've still got my ice bath sitting outside, so I'm still doing that. I'm not tracking my meals the same as I was on the app, but it's good that I'm not having to do that, because I am still in control of what I'm doing, and I'm not doing that. I am still mindful. I'm still measuring. What gets measured gets managed. I know that was one of the parts from the course. So I'm still doing the weight. I'm still doing the measurements on my arm, my chest, my stomach, and my thigh. So that's still happening. I am recording those measurements myself, not on the app. So it's a nice thing for me that you've gone through that 12 weeks. Yes, you depend on the apps. Yes, you depend on the videos from yourself. Yes, you're following a strategic program. It's not something that you can't do. It's just little incremental ways on the way to get there. And then once you finish the program, you can carry on in that vein without having to rely on the apps to input stuff and manage yourself. So
good.
Yeah, no, I found it good. But insightful is probably the best word I would find to use it.
Nice. Again, with like what you said there, if you remember to our conversation, right? And this is what I say to a lot of the guys, and we show it in the video when we describe the Back in Charge Blueprint in the masterclass. So if anyone would like to see that, just comment below or send me a message with the word breakdown. But we have a clip, don't we? And I explain it to you of like you learning to ride a bike. I'm holding that bike and you're pedaling, you're doing the work, right? And now we're at the point where I've let go, right? And I've let go, and you're still riding that bike, right? And that's what we want. You've still got the habits there, you've got the habits in place, you're doing all of that, and you're riding that bike still. Perfect.
Yeah.
And that is the Back in Charge Blueprint. You've gone through it, you've got the blueprint, you're doing it, you're following it, and you're riding a bike. Perfect. So,
yes,
Adam, tell me, like, what have you achieved, right? So from where you were 16 weeks ago to where you are now, like, what have you achieved in that time?
I've written a few metrics down. Is my chosen watch. I did all my running plans for that from a Great North Run, which we started the program 13 weeks before the Great Run. So a lot of my training leading up to this was running. So yeah, I've got a few metrics from my Garmin watch.
Share it.
Just to run through. So metrics, I've dropped during your program. I've dropped a little bit more since, but during that 12 weeks, weight was down 8 kilograms. Resting heart rate went down from 57 beats per minute to 50 beats per minute.
Nice.
Fitness age went down from 40 to 38. VO2 max went up from 45 to 47. My average sleep score went up from 68 to 90.
Whoa.
Heart rate variability when you're sleeping, that moved from generally in the red area to the green area. Week program between June and September, I averaged 90 miles a month running and 150,000 steps a month.
Look at that.
A week,
Look
sorry.
at that. No, that's perfect. That's
Went
perfect.
from my target was 2 hours for the Great North Run. Did that in 2:03. So still quite happy with that. Hard day running.
But remember, like, that one, because you said you smoked yourself too early, right? You went out the blocks too quick. Yes. You said, right? So that's all that is, right? That's all it is. But what's 3 minutes though, right? You know, I'm sure there's a lot of guys that see this and they're like, bloody hell, like I couldn't even walk up the stairs, let alone think about doing a Great North Run. So just you achieving it is a feat. So well done on that. But let's go through those metrics.
Yeah,
right?
And I had a holiday trip to Cyprus as well in the middle of there from a Great North Run training plan. So I had a few runs. I think I ran 4 out of 7 days in Cyprus on holiday. I didn't put any weight on. I was all inclusive. I didn't go over the top. Very controlled.
Look at that. Perfect. But if we look at the data, right, your weight has come down. Okay, your weight has come down, right? You're now, that's come down. Your heart rate, your resting heart rate has come down. Okay, your sleep has improved. Right, your VO2 max, which is for your lung capacity, and that has increased. So just those 4 metrics alone. Those 4 metrics alone. Like how many guys out there, just want to have a good night's sleep, and they want their resting heart rate just to reduce, and also their weight just to reduce. How do you think the guys out there, they would feel, just be like, that would mean so much, and you've achieved that.
That sleep score is quite amazing, to be honest, because I usually don't go to sleep till about 10 p.m. And I get up at about 4:30 a.m. So to get a 90 sleep score with 6.5 hours of sleep, it's pretty good. So I must be.
But that's the thing, right? This program isn't just about the weight. It's about, like we talk about the sleep and all of that in it as well, don't we? How can we improve your sleep? Because it's your sleep that then affects your habits and the next morning. So it all goes into one.
Yeah.
Right. It all snowballs. So Adam, I think you've achieved an amazing result, and you should be so pleased with your results. So like, if someone's watching this, right? If someone's watching this and they're like, yeah, he sounds great, but I'm just not sure. Like, what would you say to that person? Instead of just saying, like, just do it. Like, what would you say to that person who's considering it?
So I just touched on it before. During the program, I didn't feel out of my comfort zone. Signing up for the program, I did. But realistically, and it's something that I abide by in most of my life, you don't learn anything about yourself until you do push yourself out of your comfort zone. And to achieve things, quite often you need to push yourself out of your comfort zone. When I did the Great North Run, I wasn't in a comfort zone for 2 hours and 3 minutes. But I pushed and I achieved. If you've got a goal and you want to achieve it, it's not just going to come if you just sit there and don't do anything. Between what you do and what a direct gym will do affects the rest of your life from that 12 weeks. As long as you abide by that, stick by that, and listen to what you're saying. After the 12 weeks program, I'm still living by those habits now. I don't want to break away from that. I do need a container of Himalayan pink salt because during the last 16 weeks, I think I've consumed 300 grams of Himalayan pink salt. So I will be. I think that intrepidation before you do something, push yourself out your comfort zone and sign up and try it. You're not going to lose anything from it. You've only got everything to gain, really.
Nice. I like that. You say that you was out of your comfort zone at the start, making that decision to get started. But then when you was actually in the program, you felt in control.
Yes.
Perfect. Good.
There wasn't anything that wasn't achievable. So every week when we are doing the new segments and what we're going to drop in that week and the habits, there wasn't anything that I listened to or read or had to do that pushed me beyond my limits or something that I didn't think I could do. The one that I thought might be tricky, which didn't turn out to be as tricky as I thought, due to my body weight, I was having to drink 5.3 litres of water a day at the start. I'm down to 5, just under 5 now. But I was thinking, wow, I need to spend all this time in the car drinking all this water. But I think it's with anything in life, you just got to break it down into stages and think, if I'm up at 4:30, I'm going to the gym, let's get 2 litres in when I'm at the gym before I start work. And then just strategically throughout the day and just break it down into little segments.
Exactly.
But that was the only thing, to be honest with you, on the whole. This is going to be hard, and it was a challenge to start with. But yeah, it is achievable because I broke it down into segments. I was taking my big bottles of water into work, making sure that by certain times I'd had those consumed. And some days I went over the 5.3 litres, to be honest with you.
Nice.
But even when I was doing that, it still wasn't out of control.
No, that's cool. That's really, really cool, Adam. Really, really cool. So, first of all, thank you for taking the time out today. I really, really do appreciate you taking the time out this evening, even, your evening to come on and share your, to share your journey. Is there anything else that you'd like to say before we wrap up?
Thank you. I think a thank you for yourself and for Kerry for the work that you do in terms of creating that blueprint and creating a strategy for 12 weeks to have the impact on people. Obviously, I'm still in the group chat at the moment. I'm seeing some fantastically positive things in there, and some of the people I was doing the course with, it was really nice to start and connect with them and see the journey that they're also try and help them on the journey.
Of course.
From when I was in the program, quite a few of the Wednesday calls, I was on the calls, but I was actually out running.
Or getting in your ice bath. I remember you coming on and just stripping off. I'm like, Adam, what are you doing? And then getting into it. It's not that type of call, Adam. But again, all jokes aside. But all jokes aside, it's great, but that's the thing, right? It's not that you have to be sat down for the calls. If you're out and you just want to listen in, you can just listen in. So it's great that, you did that and you didn't use that as a block not to get involved. Again, it's been an absolute pleasure. not that because you've been an easy client, it's because you've done what you needed to do. And I'm just so proud of where you're actually at now, and just when you came over to Cyprus and we met up, it's just really good to see like you just change and the impact that you've done, and just seeing all your health metrics just improve. So it's really,
well, those things I couldn't make up. So it's not as if it's something that's falsified or anything like that. It's on my watch. It's tracking me 24 hours a day. It's telling me everything that's going on in my body, which is a huge way to track your metrics. And as I said, from manufacturing, I love a process and I love data. So seeing that come through, every run I went on during the 12-week program, I usually got a performance score of +2. And that was running most days. So I was getting a performance score. And I said just last week, I had my biggest performance ever on one run, which I'd never seen throughout the full program. And I'm sort of 3 weeks out of that program, 4 weeks now. And I'm still seeing that progression.
Nice. Cool. And I've got one last question, Adam. Do you feel that what you're doing from the Back in Charge blueprint is sustainable?
Yes, that's the biggest element for me, and I touched on it just before, that you can carry that on, because there wasn't anything that put me out of my comfort zone. It means it's more normal than you think, and for it to be more normal than you think, it's more achievable. For that to be more achievable, it's attainable, and then it's sustainable, because you can carry that on. The only thing I've had to drop is hard-boiled eggs. At a stage, I think I had hard-boiled eggs every day for about 7 weeks, and I had to stop. But I've gone on omelets. I've gone on the Greek yogurt. I've swapped that out.
Nice.
So I'm still getting my protein with every meal. I'm still focused on having that protein source with every meal, whatever I'm doing, wherever I'm at.
But again, you just
I haven't been at KFC when I've been.
Yeah. Right. And then look at that. That's if we go back to what a lot of people do, and they get a meal plan, like, and if that meal plan said hard-boiled eggs or boiled eggs, right, and you're like, I can't do it anymore, most people will go, I'm done, like, let everything go. But the way we do it is, no, let's educate you so then you can mix and match. And that's like, that's great, Adam. Really, really good to hear. Really good to hear. Cool. So, Adam, thank you so much for coming on and, just sharing your journey. Really do appreciate it. So, guys, like, if you've been watching this and, Adam has resonated with you, please send myself or Kerry a message, okay, like with the words Back in Charge, and we'll share the details with you on how you yourself can join the Back in Charge blueprint and how the process could actually look for you. And also, if you've got any questions about any of it, please send me a message. Or if you're connected with Adam, is it cool if they send you a message?
Yeah, of course. Anytime.
Yeah. Nice. And again, just, what's, you've got to think about it. How would your life be if you're lighter, if your heart rate has reduced, if your sleep has increased and improved, and also you're just generally fitter all round? So, Adam, thank you for coming on tonight. And